All right. Hello. Welcome, everybody. So, today, this week, honestly, yeah, it was tough. It was a tough week. Lots of data, lots of quick, volatile movement, as you can see on the chart right now on the 15-minute, right? Yeah, it was just a busy week. We had earnings, which the data stuff, the earnings stuff, yes, they are catalysts. Will they change the direction that the price is going to move? I don't think so. I think they can change the direction moving forward for sure. But I think the move that's going to happen in the short term is already sort of set. And it's just going to use that as a way to get volatile and make bigger price moves. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Sorry, opening a soda. The point is, we should be able to predict it, right? If you think data coming out will just go one way based on the data that comes out, it's hard to be able to say where it's going to go. Now, that being said, you don't really want to trade it when the data comes out, right? Like non-farm payroll came out, because it usually overshoots really far, and you could just get stopped out. Like, you're just probably, if you're responsible with your stops, you're just going to get stopped out, right? I'm actually going to put some background music on if you guys don't mind. Little chill stuff, because I'm expecting this to be a long session, all right? Anyway, going on this rant. It was a tough week. For me personally, I felt like every setup that I saw correctly, I didn't feel like I could enter for one reason or another. Responsibilities with work or family or whatever. And then when I was free and able, I had wins. I had good days. I had a $900 day, right? Like, prop firm money, guys. So don't get too crazy and think I'm just like blowing money or making a ton of money. This is all demo account, trying to prove myself, try to get funded. I had a good day. I had one really bad day today. I had an okay bad day the other day, and I had a couple ones that I sat out most of the day. Overall, it was a down week, but I want to just take this opportunity to sort of refocus. And, you got to put in the work, right? So when I have these moments, obviously, I step back for a little bit, which I think some people did today as well. Step back, just breathe, right? Forget about it. Forgive your mistakes that you made, right? Try not to put any blame on yourself. Realize where you went wrong and try to correct it, right? And move forward. Let me know in the chat if you think the music is too loud or anything. But I just want some background. So, yeah. I reflected on it, on the week, talked with my wife. She doesn't really know what's going on, but, I like to at least just talk it out with her, and she can just nod and smile or whatever. But it helps me think through my plan, and the thing I came up with was, why don't I, like, I want to stream something like a review, right? Like a chart review. But I didn't really want to do a chart review because I'm just going through the things I already know. Like, it's great, yeah. I can show the important things that happen throughout the day, and we can look at the setups and we can say we're wrong, whatever. But I think building in a backtesting, a longer period of time to do some more intense backtesting on stuff, I think that would be more beneficial. So I thought, hey, why don't I just do this Friday nights, end of the week. We have lessons we've learned, I'm sure. We have things that we've been trying, right? See how they work. End of the week, why don't we just take some time and go back through days in the chart and backtest and see if we can predict where price is going to go. Now, you could say, well, you might remember the day, right? You probably traded it. Well, let's just pick a random spot and go really far back. The only thing I will say is that we should avoid days where big data comes out. All right. So that's going to be the plan. Music is good volume. Sweet. Thanks, Nate. So the plan is we backtest. Let me know how it looks too, Nate, if it's the bit rate and all that. Like, you got to be able to see the chart well. I noticed that a couple of my live streams looked a little blurry. Like, I can see it on the picture you just posted. Seems a little blurry, maybe. It's been a while since I streamed, but the bitrate seems pretty low, I feel like. Let me see if I can do anything with settings. But yeah, the plan's gonna be we go through some random days, make sure they're not major impact, high impact data days. And then we're gonna see if we can predict the price action, right? We're gonna see if we can build a narrative for the day, and like pick the higher targets, go into like the 15-minute, the 5-minute, and play through it with TradingView's replay feature. Camera blurry, no worries. Okay, gotcha. Thanks, man. Yeah, use the replay feature and try to predict it. All right, see where we'd enter trades, where we'd put our stop loss, and where we would target, and see how successful we are. Hopefully pretty successful. I don't know. Encoder preset P5 slow, good quality. I don't know what some of this stuff means, to be honest. I'm looking through the OBS settings over here. Video bitrate 2500 kbps. Let me look up what a good video bitrate is. YouTube streaming video bitrate OBS. Best bitrate for streaming with OBS. Okay. Resolution. Shit. My bitrate is terrible. In short, this is the resolution of the video. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, my resolution's pretty high. Okay, let me try this. Video bitrate. I wonder if I can change this and it will like just work. Recordings cannot be paused with recording quality. Okay, whatever. Let's try applying that. Bitrate should have jumped up. Let me see. Yeah, I gotta always work. Nate, let me know if the stream quality improved a little bit with that change. I just changed it to 8K, 8000 kbps bitrate. Hopefully it doesn't kill my internet. My internet's pretty freaking good, so it should be fine. It was at like 1200, so that's really, really low compared to what they recommended. There's probably a little bit of a delay too. Anyway, we'll go ahead and get into it. Just let me know if it's better or worse or whatever. All right. So first things first, let's just pick a random day. All right. And I'm going to try to, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Because I don't want to, I was actually doing this last weekend. I just sort of like, I hit the replay button and it puts this thing up and I just went like this and I closed my eyes and I clicked randomly and I just tried to predict where price would go for the next day. Looks good? Sweet. All right. We're actually, let's like zoom way the fuck out. So I want a huge sample here. All right. And I want it to be extremely random. Like I don't want to know where we're gonna go, right? All right, so we're playing like a little roulette kind of thing. Click. Shit, I was off screen. I was off the thing. I'm closing my eyes so I can't see. All right. Blah, 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 blah. Go. What the hell, dude? I clicked. Click. Okay. We got it. All right, so we jump to this point in time. We are at, don't give me any spoilers, people, and don't spoil it yourself, okay? We're trying to learn here. We're at March 8th, 2022 now on ES, all right? And what we want to do now is give a narrative, okay? For what's going to happen next. So, where could we go, right? I think this should be pretty obvious here, right? So, I know where this is. This is when we topped out, right? Right. So we've topped out. We make our first waves, right? I think we're going down, but where and why are we going down? So what have we done on Tuesday, March 8th? We've taken out that, right? 50% of that wick. Oh, chat isn't working. Yeah, I think you need to sign in to a YouTube account, man. So if you don't have a YouTube account, I don't think you can chat in the YouTube chat. There might be some anonymous kind of feature, but I'm not sure. Okay, so we took out that wick middle, right? The next thing we would be looking if we're going down is that low, right? Like to make a new low. So let's tag that with some sell side liquidity, right? What else could we do? We could bounce off of that, which we basically did, right? Like we hit that and it came back up to end the day. Now that's normal to have a wick to end the day, but this is, right, like traditionally, this is like we sort of dojied, right? I don't really care that it's a doji. It doesn't matter. So, you could say that this, oh look, it's a doji, it's gonna go down. Yeah, I mean, there is something there, sure, but it's not gonna be, like it's not an accurate thing, right? It's a good guessing tool. A couple other things we see here. We see little daily gaps, right? Like little imbalances. Let me try to like make these bigger. Right? We got these little imbalances. Here and here. I think we should probably be aware of those. Now for upward movements, let's just act like this is a review, right? Or a chart prep, right? If it were an upward movement, it would probably go there, right? Well, I don't know. That's actually, this is why we're working on it, because I don't really know. My gut tells me we're going for that low. So let's check the weekly real quick. And this is the skill we're trying to improve, right? Is how to guess this. All right, so took low, right? Let's also see if there was some kind of setup for this, right? And I think there was. Order block, right? So that is a reversal, like a market structure break, right? On the daily. Boom, strong displacement, fair value gap. 1 day fair value gap. This is actually a order block. Do I have a bearish order block? Yeah. And I need to get rid of some of these. I would never use them. But let's do that. So order block. Technically the whole order block would be like that, I guess. And then we could say the mean threshold on that order block is right there, right? So we didn't come up to that. But we did make some equal highs here. Something to keep an eye on, right? But this is a strong move, and this is on the weekly. Remember, this is on the weekly, guys. So on this weekly, we're currently on Tuesday of this weekly, right? Right here. Now, what would we expect after breaking that swing low on the weekly, coming back into the bearish order block here, right? Which we're gonna just shrink down to this, because that's based on that T-Trades video. That's what they focus on, and I think that's pretty smart. If it goes through there, I mean, it's like not really respecting the order block too much. Obviously, we have the mean threshold and stuff, but it's not really respecting it too much. But I mean, this move is clear. This move is very clear with the gap coming back in. So I think we have more downside is the real point. And we already marked out this low on the daily for what we're going for. So I think, you know, maybe not tomorrow, but this week candle, I think is gonna go through that, right? Let's go to the 4 hour. So we've talked about the daily. I believe our daily bias is still to go towards that. But we do have a couple imbalances. This mean threshold, or sorry, consequence encroachment is a thing to keep an eye on because we did have a huge wick. So we were probably balancing something that day and then we came down or something like that. We can go into the lower time frames. Cool. I see you, man. Nice. You got a YouTube. Let me move this chat so it's a little easier for me to see. All right. So we'll go into lower time frames to get more of a narrative here. I'm just trying to be extra descriptive in this. You know, I think one thing that one area that I just need to work on a lot is that daily chart prep. I do the daily chart prep, but I'm not really building the story of how the day will play out, right? I'm building potentials and, you know, oh, it looks like we could go here. But I think hopping through the different time frames, you really can get to a point where you're predicting what the AM move is with pretty good accuracy. So that's what we're trying to train here. All right, we're on the way down from this hop up into another order block, right? On the daily, we looked at the weekly order block. We have, shoot, hold on guys, sorry. Logs me out every day. And I always forget my password. Don't put a keylogger on me. Fucking thing. I don't want to buy or sell. Anyway, okay. So, order block on the daily level. Right there, we have a bearish order block line that I want to keep in mind. I'm going to move that to the right. And you know, one thing I've noticed that ICT does, and that T-Trades was also doing, is using trend lines for this stuff. I didn't really understand why until I started doing it too, because having the line all the way across, I feel like you tend to lose focus on it a little bit. When it's an order block, something like that, you really want to like really have it in your focus. Obviously I could change the style of that line, but when it comes all the way over, it's just a little more difficult, I think. So we can say minus OB here. This is what they usually do too. So we could put that on the right or in the middle or something. And give it a little color. Too much stuff that's red. Let's go with orange. Let's save this. Minus OB, right? So this is a bearish order block. So we've already come back up and hit that, and we did make a strong move off that. Have a couple imbalances. So where are we going? We came down here. We killed consequence encroachment of this wick. Next target down is the low of that wick. Two imbalances. That's what's got me thinking a lot, right? The two imbalances right there. I think it would be easy to say, remember, when we play this, it's going to be Wednesday. Shit, I didn't check if there's a news event. Hold up. Oh man, do all this work and then watch there's a freaking news event or something. If that's the case, we would just move forward one more day. It's okay. Let's see, March 22nd, or March of 22, Wednesday the 9th. What do we have for news? I mean, there's a couple that say that they're important or something. The JOLTS job openings and the crude oil inventories. It's not one of those ones that ICT says to stay away from, so I'm not going to worry about it. Brad, do you mark the monthly levels, the range, the price moves? I like to start with that first. No, I usually don't. Weekly is usually the furthest up I go, but that's interesting, and I'll consider that. I might try that out. 'Cause yeah, I mean that's a good point too. You know, what about the month? I think. I mean, that's pretty freaking interesting too, huh? I'm not gonna go that far right now, just because I don't have that in my head yet. But thanks for the suggestion. That's not a bad idea. All right, so we do have a couple of things to balance, but I really feel like we're right here, March 8th, we're at a point where it's really shooting for a bigger target. But let's go to the 4 hour again. Let's go to the 4 hour. And we have our stuff marked out. And let's see sort of what it did for that Tuesday, right? So that Tuesday, we had a, let's go to the 1 hour. The Monday it came down. Here's Tuesday. Is Tuesday an event day? Watch, it probably was. Oh no, wait, that's, I looked at Tuesday. No, I looked at, damn. Yeah, no, Tuesday and Wednesday were both fine. There weren't anything crazy as far as data. Okay, so that Tuesday, what significant things did it grab? Well, it left a high here, right? Buy side. We had some consolidation. This is Sunday and Monday. It went up to fill this imbalance. That's pretty interesting. So I think we might be able to take this imbalance off, but it didn't go up through and back. It just went back. So it might still be a draw for later. We'll leave it on there. But I don't know if that's the same. I mean, obviously it's not the same imbalance, but it's from over here. It's interesting. All right. So we have that big high there. Tuesday, we took these highs and we left these lows intact, with Tuesday closing by taking out lows. So we have another lower target here, right? Yeah, Tuesday 322.22, exactly. This big move up though did leave a big target up, but we are on the way down. We just took lows. Does it want to make a pull back to take a high? That's the question. I'm thinking about that. The thing I'm thinking about here is the candle here. Like, it did close under those lows, right? But it didn't do any kind of strong displacement. Now, this is 4 o'clock, so it's probably just winding down the day, and there was no power move left, right? Here's a gap, by the way. Do we care about that? A 1 hour? Seems fairly balanced, right? Been through and back down again. But we did go in, out, and through, so I think that gap is no longer relevant. Do we have any other gaps here on the 1 hour? Yes, we do. Right here. Okay. So this is why I need to improve, because I'm not exactly sure. Now, where was this from? Was that the wick? I think that was the wick. Yeah, that's the wick from the daily. of Tuesday. So that top, you know, we opened here, that top, and then we came back down. So that's the big wick there, right? So that's like, ICT says that serves as a gap, basically, a fair value gap. The algo will use that to as a place that price is drawn to. So, all right, back to the question at hand. Where are we going next? Let's go to the 15, because I'm not sold. I'm not sold on downside, right? Everything points to downside. So, and I think this is where I get things wrong a little bit. You know, you look at the daily, you look at the weekly, you look at the 4 hour, you look at the 1 hour, and you go, wow, this is dumping, right? Like, it's dumping for sure. It hit like key points and it's going down. And it very well could be on its way to this low. I mean, that's really significant, especially when you go to the 15. I mean, look, there's a lot that's going to be down there because there's nothing else, right? There's no other lower low. So people are going to think this is like a bottom, and they played longs, right? And their stops are going to go right under that because that's the place that's safe, right? Now, obviously, when this starts happening, they're probably shaking in their boots a little bit. But when that happens and you see a surge up, there's definitely some stops down there, right? Okay, we have a gap here. This is 15 minute. Let's see if that, I mean, I think we tapped it. We went to the 50%. Look at that. I mean, this, it's so crazy when you see this and it's like clockwork every time. Look at this, accumulation phase, right? So think about this stuff as we're going through too. Accumulation phase, manipulation. Oh, we're going higher. Just kidding. We're going lower. So got lows, come back up into that. The order block, right? Order block, come back up into it. And we slam first to the 50 and back up. And look at that candle. That's a 15-minute candle. It came down all the way to the 50% line. And I'm going to guess that that's right the fuck on. And it is. Look at that. I mean, that shit blows my mind every time I see it. This is a 15-minute candle, guys. When you're in the day trading live and this happens, it comes down right at the 50% line and shoots back up and makes a green candle. It's not a red candle. It's a green candle, right? It's very interesting. Then it blasts through it, right? And it tries to push back through, comes back down to take lows, I'm guessing. Not really. It almost did. Came back up, take that high, come back down. Now it took the low. Then we shoot off. That's all it wanted, right? Saved that low right there. Now it wants to take those highs. It's like the snake game, man. Like, you go one place and you go, ooh, there's a big dot over there. Let's go over there. Ooh, look, there's a big dot over there. Let's go over there. Oh, this one's on the same path and it's another dot. It's close by. I could make it there before going back. Let me grab that one on the way. Okay, now I'm going back. It's crazy, man. It's fucking crazy. So not only did we take this buy side with that move, right? Shoot up. We also took all the liquidity up here. That's a lot. There's a lot there. And did we take this? Nope. We tagged it perfectly. So we actually came, it came like a tick from it, right? One tick, 25 cents off. So that's still a target for sure. That is relative equal highs. That is very significant. But once again, what are we doing next? Okay, we're on the 15-minute. We've looked at all these time frames. All of them say, I think we're going lower. Now, most of them that we looked at, when we said, I think we're going lower, we saw this one, right? Now you don't see the candles here because it was on the daily, I think. Sorry, let me fit this in. Right, on the daily was that lower low. We think we're going lower, right? It was actually the low of the day that is still the thing on the table here, right? This is still pretty far away. Okay, so back to today. What are we gonna do on Wednesday, March 9th, right? If I had to guess, I would say, and sorry, I didn't mark these clear enough. That was a 1 hour gap, is that correct? Yeah. Oh, it is marked as a 1 hour gap, sorry. I need to work on my labeling on that shit. All right, this is a 1 hour gap. We've come through it. We bounced off of it. That's probably what caused the top of the gap, and that, where's the bottom of the gap? Shit, I don't know. Somewhere around there. Oh, why does that not line up? Hold on, sorry. This is gonna drive me nuts. Oh, the bottom of the gap was the current hour. Right here. Got it. Top of the gap, bottom of the gap. Okay. It's looking the wrong way. Okay. Back to it. Sorry. Getting distracted here. Back to it. That hour gap is something that does need balanced and is something that is going to draw price, right? It's going to be, price is going to want to balance that out. We've cracked this low. We've cracked that low, actually cracked this low. So we have this pool of liquidity down, and we have this gap that wants to be balanced up. Do we go into the 5 minute? Yeah, why not? I think 5 minute is the lowest we should go though. Where the flip are we? Oh my god, I lost my replay. What happened? Oh, this son of a bitch. Oh no. It screwed up my replay, guys. Hold on. Before I see what happens, I gotta turn replay off. Why did it do that? And I gotta go back. 2022. January. Okay, hold on. February. March. I'm not looking. Tuesday. Jesus. Okay. Trading View's got some bugs, man. Okay, we're not gonna go into 5 minutes. It screwed us, dude. Oh, we need to go forward 1 day, though. Okay, that's where we were. Sorry. Hopefully you guys didn't get a spoiler. I didn't get a spoiler. I didn't see. But it did like put some freaking other lines on my chart. What is this line? All right, TradingView, get your shit together, man. All right, let's go back to the 15-minute. Okay, yeah, we're still where we left off. Look how, like, when you're on the daily, drawing that out, like we drew out all this stuff on the weekly and the daily, and then we come down on the 15 minutes. It's like, yeah, there's so much work we have to do to even think about getting to those places, right? I like to use the replay, but I hate that you can't just type the day. Yeah. I just started using replay. Like the first time I used it was last weekend, and I felt like it was very helpful using the replay. But yeah, I didn't. Using the mouse was fine with me, but yeah, if you're more of a typer, I can see that. Okay, we're not gonna go into 5. We're gonna stick with the 15 because the 5 broke. Shit. So let's just go through 15-minute marks and see how price moves. My guess for this 15-minute target is that we're gonna come up and hit this gap. All right. Yeah, Nate, use the replay, man. It was so cool going back. It blew my mind, like using the theory and stuff, going back to old days, just randomly, and then trying to play a guessing game of where price is gonna go. And then when you get it right, you're like, fuck yeah, dude, I'm like a genius, you know? And then you try to play it live and you're still an idiot, but whatever, we gotta keep grinding, and we'll get better, man. We'll get better. We just gotta keep doing it. Yeah. No, I know. That's why I closed my eyes and I just moved my mouse back and forth. So I didn't see what price was gonna do. I don't know. I genuinely don't know what price is gonna do. Just trust me. That's the whole point. Like, if I knew what price was gonna do, there would be no point in doing this exercise, and I'm just wasting my time, right? So, okay, let's see if we're right. We've swept these lows. Like, that's quite a good, like, that's a huge run, but it's also a huge run back, right? And if we're talking about premium or discount, right? Let's take this whole range. All right, we'll take this top. It doesn't really matter. We'll use bodies for this. But for this whole range, we are deep in a discount, right? Sorry, I'm going to get rid of this fib because I don't think it's sort of... what is that fib from? That's from like some gap or some shit, right? I'm going to get rid of it for now because it's just distracting me. Yes, exactly. Do that. Have someone else just pick a random date for you and just don't look. Use the kiddos for sure. This liquidity, okay, let's go back through it. Let's go back through. We have a high here. We have a high here. We're not reaching for those. That's for sure. There's easier targets for price to get to. With this whole range, we're in a big time discount. If we were to go for this whole range, we're in a bigger time discount, right? Oops, sorry. So I'm actually, yeah, let's put that 50% line back on so that we can talk more about and sort of see when we would be in a premium. I don't think we get back into a premium before a move down, but I do think price will come for this 1 hour fair value gap before it comes for this low, even though we're closer, but it's already swept a lot of sell side. So that's my guess. I can be completely wrong, but let's just run forward a little bit. All right, We didn't displace through these lows, remember. That's another thing. Like, we displaced through that low. Strong moves, right? We did not displace through this low. We just settled down under that low. All right. So that's why my guess is 1 hour fair value gap. Tap it, and then we'll head back for that low. Let's see. Okay, we're heading up. I like it. 1 hour fair value gap. Look at that. All right, so next question is, do we go to the CE? Do we tap, come back, go into CE? Here's what I think. Now, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think when we go to the CE of a gap, then we're gonna come out and then break through it without taking any more low targets. That's a guess. I'm not super experienced with that. We could very well tap the CE and then come back for this low, but I think this low, like, we're in the gap. I don't think we break the gap. I don't think we break through and go to a premium right now. I think we attack the low, but it could keep the low for later. This is what we're testing. So let's see. Does it break through the gap? Forward. Okay. What happened there? Oh, perfectly on the 50% line. Huh. Interesting. Now what does it do? Smash through or go for the low? My guess is still going for the low. Okay, we went through, but down, and the body respected the CE. This is very interesting. So are we gonna go for a higher high here? If we do, let's mark one out. This is very high though, but it would also get us into a premium, which is what we want if we're gonna attack a very big sell side target, which this is a very big sell side target. Like I said, there's like nothing under this, right? So that's like a long-term low, right? This is really, I think we picked a really good example here. This is great. All right, let's keep going. Still respecting the CE with the body there, you see? Okay, we're through the gap with a wick. Still respecting the CE. Now, another consideration to make is this big wick. Got a big wick on that. There, if it didn't have this wick, there would be like a gap here, right? But we have a wick. You son of a bitch. Can you believe this, man? This thing came right to the 50%. Now, this is like not very many ticks, but damn, that's just... When I see that, I have to put a fib down because I just can't believe when it does that all the time. Like, it comes back and it goes to 50% and then rejects back off and goes to the ground. Ugh. So crazy, dude. Let's think of anything else that we could be coming back into before heading back down to this low, because this low is going to be the target, I think, for we're still on Tuesday. We're just after hours right now. I think this low is still going to be the major target for like overnight, maybe early morning London session, stuff like that. But let's see where we could be heading up for before returning back down. And I think it could be this, right? So this is an order block. Now it's a 15-minute order block. It's a big one. We have a big wick. We're going to just use the wick. And we're going to say this is a bearish order block. I need to get more creative with my colors. They all look the fucking same, man. We're closing in on that order block, actually. And that wick is right there, too. So that is likely what it reacted off of. Now, it reacted right at the 50% of that wick. There's a lot of things lining up, right? So let's see if we dip back into the order block there before we head for that low, which I think is the first target of the day. All right, let's go. We do. That's a strong move, huh? So it created a swing high here, a little one, when it went through the gap. Oh, T-Trades. T-Trades just responded to me on Twitter. I got it on my watch. The first line says, I already have too many I'm gonna imagine he's gonna say, I already have too many discords, but thanks. That was very nice of him to reply. So that's cool. Anyway, let's continue to move forward. It looks like it's gonna be saving this low for a while, for a little while longer. Remember, we're talking about a day. When we marked that low out, it was on the daily chart, and it was a significant target on the weekly chart. It was a very significant low. So that could be, you know, later on in the week or even into the following week if it wants to make some, it's going to make some, you know, buy side runs and have sell side targets as it does that, and sort of just be rebalancing until it's ready to take that low. That low is obviously going to be taken. We already know that history at least, but when will it be taken is the question. All right, so we're heading up. We popped the gap. We're into the bearish order block. We want to see if that, excuse me, sorry, I'm drinking soda. We want to see if that bearish order block is going to hold this down, right? So looks like we're consolidating a little bit in the bearish order block, and it is gonna hold it down. And we came back to the CE and we came back through, right? So ICT talks about this when I've heard him talk about it a couple of times. This is one of the problems I have with ICT, is he mentions things that are like extremely important at very random parts in some of, gotta reply, yeah, exactly, that's pretty sweet. So ICT will mention something very important in a very random spot, in a rant or a conversation or whatever, or a breakthrough or a breakdown of some move or whatever. You got to remember, these things are like second nature to him, so he's just like saying it like because I think he's just assumes like everyone knows this. Oh, that's how you know when a gap is balanced, right? So I'm not like 100% sure on this. Funny that we tapped the top exactly of that order block before we made the move down. Just some things to point out here, guys. So I think coming through, so we already came through once, right, to create the gap. Now, the reason why the fair value gap is significant is because price has come through in only one direction, right? We have all of this price movement, and it never, in this section, and actually, sorry, it's in this section on the hourly, it never came back up at all, like at all. That's the fair value gap. That's where the wicks stop. So that means there was no wick through that. It was all downside, right? So that's why those are significant areas for the algorithm to rebalance. So, but I believe when we have come through and then back again, then we would call that a balanced gap, all right? So it doesn't lose its significance forever, and we would have to look at the 1 hour chart to see if it actually did that on that time frame, because this is a 1 hour fair value gap. But yeah, that's what we're looking for when we want to like say, okay, this might be balanced and we don't really care about it too much anymore. Let's mark this out because it is a gap too and we didn't mark it. This is our premium and discount line. I should probably make a fib that says that because it just, that's a little confusing. Our premium and discount line is right on this 15-minute fair value gap, by the way. Interesting. All right, so let's go back to what we're doing. We came back for this gap to rebalance that. We came into an order block, which caused a rejection. Let's see if we go for this low. That's still my guess, is that we go for the low. We came back into the order block to the top of the order block. Interesting. Are we going for a premium? Is there 15-minute candles, guys? That 50% line of that 1 hour gap is still holding pretty strong. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame to see if we're, yeah, see we haven't actually rebalanced it. We are currently just sort of consolidating a little bit. And this is the overnight, so, you know, you'll see this a lot. This is like, what is this, 145? So London hasn't opened. Look at that. So we actually do get into a premium for that whole range. That's the range we care about, right? From the lows here, the bodies, to the highs here, the bodies, is our premium zone and our discount zone. Look how much time we've spent in the discount zone. So it's been collecting, you know, stopping out longs, stopping out longs, collecting them, having other traders accumulate shorts, right? So it does look like it is going to try for this gap to rebalance that and maybe even come for this high in the premium before it goes for that low down there. So this is a really good reason why we do this, right? Because when this happens, you see this low and you go, okay, next target, 41.38.75, that's where we're going, right? No, it's not. We have to take the entire picture into play, right? Like, into consideration. We're in a deep discount for this range from the low to the high. We've taken a lot of sell side. We've opened gaps. It will leave, you know, if it sweeps that sell side there, that doesn't really do anything for it at this point. It can go and accumulate more so that that becomes way more valuable, right? Because it's not as valuable right now. People are already thinking, we're gonna go get it. So they're going short. We wanna stop those people's shorts out. All right, so here we go. We're stopping people's shorts out. 5-minute gap here. We do go through it pretty easily, right? So I think we're going for that high. I really do. Let's see. Is London open yet? Yeah, London's open. London open. Okay, here's another thing to look for. What happened on London Open? We're on a clear path up, right? We have a gap, another gap that just opened. Another 15-minute gap. We probably have some other gaps that are open from hour time frame or something like that. But we have 2 gaps open here. The CE doesn't seem to be playing much of a part. Oh, sorry, that's not the CE. Duh, that is our balanced price range. But we have another gap here. We're on what looks to be an uptrend. We have this huge wick down. So remember on the 15 minute, on the 5 minute, on the 1 minute, it's probably, you know, within this 15 minute time frame, one of those accumulation manipulation stages where it did a big swing down and took a bunch of sell side. Obviously it took these to accumulate the what it needed to, the sell stops to go up to grab this high. So that's going to be my next guess still. We'll test high of London, always tries to test Asia high. Okay, yeah, might be. I mean, this is from Tuesday. So the Asia stuff happened, what, like in here, right? So there we go. We're going for that high. I mean, it seems pretty easy looking back at it now, right? And it took it out. Look at that. Now that we've taken that high, where do we think we're gonna go? All right, we're still just an hour and a half into London. Are we gonna go here? We have a 15-minute gap here. We have equal lows here. We have a 15-minute gap there. I'm actually going to close this gap. I don't think it matters right now, but we'll see. I'm going to keep this one up. Okay. So at this point in London, we made an energetic move out from this run through this 1 hour gap, like pretty sufficiently through that gap, right? Had trouble with the bearish order block, but we eventually jammed through and really significant pushes up, right? So do we think that we continue up to this high? Or do we think we stop at this gap? If I were to guess, that high seems very high. We are in a significant premium here. We just tapped the bottom of that gap. I think a tap on the bottom of the gap will be enough. It dug in a little bit, but I think we make a run at some lows here. Now, it probably will just be to this gap, but let's see what happens. Okay. Dug in a little more. Big wick down. You would not be in play until it tests that high. Okay, interesting. I think that's a significant high, though, that it took out. So I would be looking for potential, like, come down and back up. We have another gap I didn't mark yet. And then, like, there's definitely room to wait and evaluate. Like, I wouldn't make the decision right when it tapped on the gap, right? So let's see what we do. I think we consolidate a little bit and we head back down. Okay. So, oh, almost to the CE. Doing a lot of consolidation. Here we go. Big waves, right? Going back into that gap. We did crack the CE of that, it seems like. Tapped right back on the CE. I say we play around in here for a little while, just right in between these two. So yeah, there would be no entries here. Now mind you, we're on Wednesday, 7:30 in the morning. So you know what's coming soon is 8:30. Open. Okay, we're still going up. All right, we cracked the CE, still going up. 8:15. Let's see what happens on 8:30. All right. So what do we have to, okay, so let's think about this. 8:30, we are likely gonna see a mini version of what happens at 9:30. Now, it doesn't mean it happens the same way, but we're gonna see a mini version of the manipulation and then distribution in some way. You know, it's not usually very strong, but it's gonna make a run at something, right? I don't think it makes a run all the way up here. That's 30 handles. That's significant. 9:30 can definitely do that. I don't think 8:30 does that. I think 8:30 comes up and then takes maybe down here these lows. But let's see. Like not at 8:30, but like between 8:30 and 9:30. Your puts are getting ready? Okay. So 8:30, it did run up to the top of the gap, and it's on its way down. I think it goes and grabs these lows before 9:30. Wow, look at that. 50% of wick. Yeah, I wouldn't be in any of this movement. That's 9 o'clock. So it pushed really high up of the gap and then came all the way back. Puts getting ready on the top. Yeah. No, I feel that. I feel that. This was a strong move, right? And to just settle down for 9:30 to grab that for a move down, I think is a really likely thing. I agree. Isn't this game fun? Okay, so it's like cleanly above the CE. It did open a little volume imbalance there, but I'm gonna agree that 9:30, which is the next candle. Okay, so let's guess 9:30, like the manipulation and then the distribution that happens there. We don't have like any gaps here, right? It's been really sloppy. Okay. I think 9:30 will take this low and then shoot up, and in the next hour and a half we'll take the high. But let's see. Okay. We shot down to that. Okay. It took the low and zipped back up. Look at that. Took that low and immediately, like, yeah, it went a little, it dug a little down, but it zipped back up. Now let's see if it goes for the high. Here it goes. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Let's see it get it. Come on. It wants that high. It wants it. I know it does. There it is. Boom. Got that high, dude. So that's very hard to play on the 15-minute, right? That is like brrr, no gaps, just really choppy, crazy action. But for me, the move that sealed it, that it was gonna go for the high, was the 9:30 push. If the 9:30 didn't go, I mean, it did it between 9:30 and 9:45. It did. If it didn't go to grab this low from 9 o'clock, then I would have said that it's going to leave that high for later. All right. Oh, sorry, the baby. I have the baby monitor, so I gotta keep an eye. And actually, give me 1 second. I'm gonna close these things. Sorry, we have some like noise dampening curtains. So everyone in the house is sleeping, so I need to stop yelling so much. All right. So we took the high. That was hard to play though. Like, that's a tough setup. What do we have on the upside after that? We had what, like an imbalance here, I think. Yeah, a really high. Let's redraw our premium and discount line. This 5-minute gap is pretty toasted, right? Like, went in and out. Or sorry, 15-minute gap. But I'll keep it up for now. I'll take the CE out. We can just eyeball it. Actually, I'll take the CE out of everything that we've marked. The gaps that we've marked. Bearish bearish order block. Don't really care about that anymore. All right, so let's do our. Actually, let's see where this goes first. But my guess, at the very least, is we're gonna go for this. All right. And this is what we need to get better at throughout the day. Okay, is it still going for this high? A lot of times I'll see a higher target that's not very far off, but I'll see like a reversal pattern. I'll go, it's reversing. Hell yeah, let's go. Let's jump on. We're doing shorts. We're doing shorts. I'm like, dude, that's so stupid. The last high, like it's already broken through the previous one. The last high is right there. Like, why wouldn't it be going to get that? It's gonna go and take some sell side to get dummies like me to sell short, right? But it's gonna go get that. And like we saw here, it went and got that. All right, so my guess, we're going for that low, we're going for this low, and probably going for this low and this gap. With the next moves, we're right at lunch, so let's play through a little bit. I don't think it goes much higher than where we are, but we gotta really see like what the displacement is. It really didn't displace through that high, so I don't think it's gonna hold up, but let's see. Oh, it might be proving me wrong here. We are at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock move. It did go down. Okay. There we go. So we've started our afternoon move. And we've, at the very least, taken this low. And this could be a point where it's really going for this high or to hit this imbalance. Let's pop back to the 1 hour and see what we are looking at. And this is another thing that I need to get better at, is not hyper focusing on one time frame. Now, if we're trying to think about the narrative on the 1 hour at this point in time, let's look at this. From that body high to that body low, this range, if we are going for this top, we want to talk about this range, and we want to see that we are firmly in a premium. We took a significant target, I still feel like we're going down. So you say it's going for the purple. Okay. Yeah, the purple might be a good, like it's still a draw on liquidity, right? And it could get there without taking the high out. I don't think it takes the high out. I think it wants to leave, I think it would want to leave that high for later. But one thing it did do, that's a pretty, like, look at this pattern as if it was the 1 minute, right? If you see this on the 1 minute and you're going through here, this looks like we're coming for that high, right? Looks like it. This is a difficult situation here. I'm not too sure, but I think we go for more. Sell side first. Let's look at the 4 hour. So this is the purple. There was an imbalance on the daily right here. So it is a draw. We do have a wick here on the 4 hour. Let's mark that out to see if that's the point. At this point, I'm really just I feel like we're looking at reversals to take more lows. Please don't tell me. Okay, good. It kept where we were. Yeah, 1 minute's tough, dude. It really is pretty tough. Okay, so we're back on the 15. Actually, let's shrink this out. Why does this look so... Oh, there we go. Okay, we're back on the 15. So after going through those other time frames, and think about this. We're looking at 15-minute candles. If you're going to be trading off this, do you have the time to go through all these other time frames and build a better narrative? Yes, you do. You have 15 minutes for each one of these candles. You have the time to figure out the better narrative. So that's just something I got to keep in mind too. Like, I'm really talking to myself. I'm hopefully reaching some of you guys too, but you have the time to look at other time frames and build a better narrative. So I think we're gonna go for this low next. So let's see what we do. We did take this low, but I just don't think that's good enough. We are at 230. Okay, we took high of the day. All right, interesting. Yeah, me too, Nate. Me too, dude. That was 345. So this is definitely not in play today, right? Like, we took that high, but it looks like it's saving all the sell side for tomorrow as well. Let's see if the last 15-minute candle takes at least this. It doesn't. We just end with this little consolidation around that. I mean, we're right at that high that we took, right? So this push today was basically all upwards, right? So remember, we went back. We started at the daily, and this is how our daily candle actually turned out. Would you have guessed that was gonna be our daily candle when we looked at this on the daily, right? That's where we have to get. We have to get to the level where in the morning we're going through these time frames and we're predicting what this candle is going to look like, you know? So I would not have guessed that this candle would look like that. I would have said strong order block hit here. We created some good imbalances. Yeah, maybe pull up to one of them and then take the low, right? That was my guess. Hell no, you wouldn't have. No, me either, man. That's why we're doing this. That's why we're doing this. That's why I want to have a long session tonight. Not too much longer, maybe another half hour or something, but you know, hopefully this gives you a good idea of something you can do. I found this to be very helpful the other day when I did it. Still not perfect, obviously, but you really have to, and that's another thing to keep in mind. You know, as it took things and did stuff, we kept reevaluating. Where's it going next? Where's it going next? Where's it going next? Right? Where's it going next? You have to keep doing that, and you have to keep flipping through the time frames as it's going on. Okay, what's the next draw on liquidity? Okay, it's gonna grabbing these lows, right? Yeah, I mean, sure. I don't know about the whole, I don't know why like you wouldn't be able to tell that like what support are you talking about, right? It went up here and it came off and it went down here and it made this, right? So it made a little doji, but there was nothing there that you could have used for reference. Now, obviously we can go through this wick and we can find something. I'm sure there was some reason that it went there, right? Or that it stopped there within this wick. But yeah, you know, I wasn't expecting that big of a rebalance. But cool to see. Cool to see. Four-hour resistance. Yeah, man. The whole support and resistance thing is not really something we're trying to use for this evaluation, though, right? Like we're looking for it to go towards draws on liquidity. They can act as your quote-unquote support or resistance, but that's not, like, that changes, right? Like, that's one of the problems with the support and resistance thing. It's just like, oh, well, this number is always the number, and it's gonna do whatever, just random things until it gets close to that, and then that's resistance, and then it's gonna go down. No, I mean, every one of these moves is a draw to liquidity. Every single one of them. And they can be predictable, right? So we want to predict all of them, not just when it gets to the top. Where do we go from here, though? Okay, so we have that 50% line of the wick. We have this imbalance. We have this high. We're already very high for the range, right? So let's draw the range again. I thought we had the range, but let's draw this range. We're very high in a premium. We have a lot of targets. We're heading into the after hours market. So I think we work our way down from here. If anything, we can go and hit that imbalance, go and hit that 50% line. Like, we're just pumping through 15 minutes, right? We're still on Wednesday. Actually, now we're on Thursday. Do we have any news? Shit. I didn't look at that. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Man, this thing is not working super well. Shit, we have CPI on Thursday. Okay, let's see how CPI March 9th or 10th, that's coming up right now, is CPI day, guys. All right, let's just watch it. All right, so we're just chilling right where we left off pretty much. London, yep. So London's first move was down. Interesting. What did it take that it hadn't taken before, that we haven't taken already? Nothing, really. It hasn't taken anything. So it's going for more. So it grabbed that low, right? Where are we going now? I'm gonna take this high off. I'm gonna look at that. I'm also gonna still look at this. I don't know if it's relevant, but I think it might be. We took a low. That could have been all it wanted, right? Let's see. Looks like it. Okay, where are we at now? We're at 415. Okay, so that move put us back into the order block, right? We're making a, oh, I didn't mean to hit play. That's fine, it just went one. So we're still on our way down. I'm gonna take this off, I don't think it matters. I think we're going for lows, but where are we gonna end, right? So let's look, where would 830 be? It would be like, I don't know, like 10 candles or so, whatever. How far do we get down? I think we could make a run at that. I think we might make a run at this as well. Let's see. Okay. That 50% line might have actually been very relevant, huh? Of that wick. Just kidding. Okay. We took the low. We tapped on that gap. Literally right on it. And we're coming up on 830. $7.30, $7.45, took the next low. 8:15. And what is 8:30 gonna do? Okay. We've come down pretty far. Are we in a discount? So let's check our range, because I think we want to think about this as, are we coming for, in the next day, this low? Right? If we're going to move all day long, we could just chop, right? Too. That's an option. But I want to look at like the liquidity draws and see what we're coming for. Or are we coming for this high? We are still, we're right about break even on premium discount, right? We're right about break even. So I think we continue down, and I think 8:30 maybe makes a run at a high before that. So let's see. Look at that. Made a run at some highs and then started coming down. Manipulation before distribution. Always, 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 always. Yeah, right? Yeah, London is prepping. London did the same manipulation though, guys. Like, look at this. The 3 o'clock candle, the first move it made was to take some highs, and then it started working its way down. Then what did 8:30 do? It took some highs, and then it started to work its way down. What's 9:30 gonna do? It took this high. Is it done though? Look at the volume. Doesn't really matter, but look at it. You guys are probably gonna hate me saying that all the time. Oh, it needs more volume. Inverted head. Oh, here comes a traditional thing. Uh-oh. Okay, so we do have some targets, though. I'm just joking, by the way. Just messing with you. those patterns present themselves in hindsight because of the way price is moving, right? I hate this symbol name label thing. It's so ridiculous. Okay, so 9:30, what did we do? We took this and we ended up. I honestly think with where we are, we want to run this high and potentially run out all these highs. This high is an old high, but we can just pin that one on there. So my guess is before we go down, now CPI's win 8:30, so it already happened by this point. That was that huge run on highs, right? 9:30 came out, didn't really take anything. Let's see if it will start taking something now. All right. Took that high. Okay. Is it gonna go for the other highs? I think it's probably likely. Let's see. Took that high. Remember this old gap. I know it's silly. We're just pulling it through, but I think it still stays sort of relevant. We're like right at the 50% line, by the way. Okay, so it didn't take a high, but it went through that gap again. And now we're on our way down. Now this is probably, this was like, no, I mean, it's not really CPI related. Like CPI already happened. Jobless claims. We have a Cleveland CPI, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, that was a big high to take from 8:30. So maybe that was the last run that it wanted. It wanted to pop back through that gap. The low that it would go for is this one, of course. That's the first one. And do we have any other gaps here? Oh, we have these, right? So now that we popped that, we're coming back to the order block though. So it's just another thing to be aware of. If I had to guess what it's gonna do, I think it's gonna go back up. We're at 10:30. I think it's gonna go back up, but let's see. No, it went down for the low and it's continuing down. Nothing real there, so it's gonna keep going. Let's see how it behaves with this 15-minute gap. Okay, it came back for that one, which is also, there's a gap here. Now I'm not doing any other gaps, right? Throughout the day you'll be looking for a lot more than just this, but I think this is interesting enough. Okay, so we are just doing very large swings here, but I think we're still working towards 420225. Since we didn't come back from this, right? I was looking at this and thinking, okay, we could come back up and take those highs. Since we didn't, we came through with pretty good displacement. I think it's going for this low, 420225. So let's see. No, I'm wrong. Accumulate, we're going lower. So I'd be out of my puts by now. Going back for the gap, took that high again. This is a strong kind of reversal pattern with a displacement. I know patterns aren't really a thing, but you do see this a lot with this like kind of W shaped head and reverse head and shoulders, whatever you want to say. But It's really just showing the different draw and liquidity here. So we are going for those highs after all. So when I called that here, it wanted to stop me out, right? It wanted to go a little lower and just take all my hope away from taking those highs out. But those highs look too nice, right? We got quite a few of them up there too. Are we gonna go for them? Freaking CPI day, man. Oh, we're at 345. Oh shit, I didn't realize that. How far along on CPI day we've gotten. All right, 4 o'clock, we left the highs intact. We did a whole lot of nothing on CPI day, huh? Big swings and just grabbing the highs and lows that we created that day, right? Created a swing high here at 830, pulled up, it pulled down, break the low, right? So that's like a breaker, right? Bullish breaker, took that high again, came down, took that low, came up, created a high, took that high, and just fell to pieces right there. All right, so where are we going from here? Well, we're about to wrap this up, but let's guess if we take these highs in the aftermarket. Yeah, snagging liquidity on both sides. Right, it's using that volatility of CPI day to just accumulate like a madman. Your journal said you made money? Your inputs in the AM. Nice. So you probably went inputs up here, huh? Right after the initial run, stay out initially and then grab this big run down. Yeah, that'd be pretty juicy. That was let's see, 42, 48, 40, that's like 40 handles, and it's $2,000. It's a nice one per contract. All right, let's see if the after hours will take those highs or leave them in place for tomorrow. And then we'll just run through this real quick. You know, after hours doesn't really do much, you know, so probably not gonna do anything here, but let's see if it makes a run on those highs. Yeah, you think London would? Maybe. Sort of depends on what we're gonna do until London. It's dropping, 8 p.m. So we had a little accumulation. Didn't really manipulate too much. Maybe this is the manipulation here. We got that fair value gap out of the way. I'm gonna delete this one, it's from an old one. This one's still relevant, I think. That's another thing on these gaps here. You should be able to use them going through candles, but we'll delete this one for now. Let's look at this gap. Let's look at that volume imbalance. Right. 3-line strike. Okay, cool. So I think it will probably come back up to that gap at some point. Nope, it's leaving it. So this is where I'm just guessing wrong, right? We do have a low here. These are old ones we can get rid of. Oh, excuse me. Shit. All right. I still think we're going to the gap. Let's go to the gap. Come on. Let's go. Where are we at? We're not in London yet. We're not even close. I made a low there. Let's go to the gap. Come on. Yeah, went to the gap. All right. I mean, it made sense, right? So we finished the day, right? We return to this gap, fill it in. On the way there, we leave this gap. We want to go fill that, right? We have a volume imbalance right here. We want to go fill that probably. There's that. Holy moly. Took that high too. That wasn't even London. That was 2 a.m. And now we tapped that. That's a nice equal high. Thanks, man. Thanks, guys. And we're leaving it. We're leaving it. We want this low. We want this low. That's the next draw, right? We went and balanced stuff out. We made a equal high here that we can take later. I think we want this low, maybe this low. But we'll see. London hit. Sorry, I missed that. London hit and went down, so maybe it's going up. Manipulation. Those highs are very close. Those highs are very close. There we go. Took the highs. All right. Another lesson. No, I don't trade outside of New York hours. I'm working up the courage to start trading at 7:30ish. But I'm still learning so much right now that I want to stick with New York right now. There are some good setups that I see that come like 7:30, even 6:30. So I want to be able to play those someday, but we swept both highs. Did we create a relative equal here? I mean, obviously it's a relative equal, but 427, 475. What's our top? 4275. So we did it by one tick. So we'll leave that on there as an old high, but I'm going to take that other one off as a swept target. We can get rid of this one. We swept that a long time ago. Okay, so we have a balance here. We'll probably go to that. Could take this low as well. Let's see if we go to the balance to balance the gap. Holy Friday, 6:15 a.m. What? Why does that happen at 6:15 a.m.? Okay, so it went all the way up through the imbalance. Oh shit, dude, that's crazy. What did we have Friday? Okay, nothing. I mean, hold on. Let's put Great Britain on. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. Did I have to pick England? Oh, United Kingdom. There it is. Let's see if the UK had something significant or something. Friday, 5 a.m. No. Oh shit, they changed my date filter. Man, I find so many bugs in these damn websites. Friday. Sorry guys, I'm looking at the calendar here. Okay. Yeah, they actually had their GDP numbers at 2 a.m., which would be what? No, this is Eastern time. 2 a.m. Eastern. Huh. An hour before open. Interesting. There's nothing at 6:30 though. That's really, or 6:15. But it went for that. Big imbalance. It actually took that high too. So we did not grab any sell side before that crazy move. We have clearly a big imbalance here that we're gonna dig into. Yep, there we go. Dig into. Pass the 50% line. Get out of it. Oh, that's 9:30. Sorry, I'm going right through these significant time frames. We had such a big move at 6:15. You called the fat move? Nice. The good thing is it dug into that old imbalance, right? We'll keep that up there. But now it's running those lows. So that's like some ridiculous manipulation, right? Or just closing this whole gulch up. And now we make an aggressive run on lows. Right? So I think it probably is going to go for quite a few more during the US one. Look at that. Remember that old low and how I was saying there's nothing below it, and that's probably a long-term low. Look how long-term it's been. Like, we've made so many lows that we need to hit before we get there now. It's insane. So just remember, like, we were so close to that, right? We were so close. I'm thinking, oh yeah, we're gonna go get it. Nope, nope, nope. We have come a far way away from that now. But we should be on our way down. This is Friday at noon. Let's see how Friday ends. I think it's gonna be bloody, honestly. We do have some gaps. I'm not gonna mark them out because I want to just want to play this one out a little bit. We got to get that low though, for sure, right here. So it's going to get some, there's that gap there, but we're getting to past lunch and we're gonna make our final run at that low. Yeah, no, 215, 230, 245, there it is. Got the low. Now, that was a pretty good low. We have this high that came out of that. Do we come back into that? Now, I think our afternoon move is sort of set, but we could be coming back for highs. This is where we'd want to go in lower time frames, I think, to look for reversals and stuff like that. But let's see. It could just sweep all three of these lows. I mean, that would be a huge sweep, right? So we got the next one. We got the next one. And we got the next one. Yep. It's just cleaning up lows from that crazy run up, right? Cleaned up this 15-minute gap as well. So you see how these runs can extend for a long time and sweep a lot, and they'll come back to little imbalances before coming back up, going back up, but we have these big patterns forming. Just always try to be aware, and this is something I struggle with, of where we are in the bigger picture of things. You can still do it from the 15-minute time frame, but like, we really want to look at this, I think, still until this high is taken. Oh shit, the high was taken. I'm still gonna do it right here though. We still want to look at this for like higher time frame premium or discounts that we're in, right? So when we were way down here and we're going for that low, and I said, oh, we'll probably just bounce this gap up first. We were so far in a discount though, it went all the way back up here, cleaned up all this buy side, got into a premium, dipped back into a discount to grab some of this that it left before heading up to finish closing this price section, and now it's on its way down, and it's gonna clean up the bottom here and probably settle back down into the middle. We'll see. I mean, we're at 3:45, so it's obviously not gonna do it this week. There's 4 o'clock. We're done. We're done right at the end of that right at the bottom of that gap. Look at the bodies. Respecting the bottom of that gap to end the week. Went a long way to come back for that gap. Look at that drop. The trigger was that high. Okay? The imbalance is there, and it's a draw as well. But the high is the big draw. It wants to make that not straight anymore. It's got to take that out. There's stops up there. There's huge stops. We're in a bear market, you know. People are saying, oh, we're going to continue down. We're going to go to fucking hell, you know. Like, we're drilling through to China, whatever. People think that it's just going to drill when it's a bear market. But it's going to come back and stop you out, dude. Like, longer term moves, it's going to come back, stop you out, and then, yeah, it's going to continue on, but it's got to go get that money, you know? Going straight there doesn't get them any money. So we'll end it here. I think this was a pretty cool session. You know, I wanna definitely make this at least a weekly thing to do some back testing, pick a random day and try to guess, and I think we'll just keep getting better and better and better at it, right? The thing we need to do, the thing I definitely need to do, I need to work on, is the narrative of the day, and keeping that in mind, and keep looking at the time frames and seeing, okay, why would it not make sense to go get that low here? There were reasons, right? It's done a lot of grabbing, like going lower and lower and lower, pulling back up, cleaning up some of this area that it left. It grabbed a really big significant low here. It's in a very deep discount. That's a very significant low. That's a low on the weekly. That's a long-term low. I think it's gonna break it the next 2 days after it forms it on the weekly. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's the goal of these streams. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Keep learning, keep trying. It's easy to get discouraged when you have a bad day or a bad week, but it's all the more reason to think about how you can improve your process, and you have to do it. You have to put in the work to improve. All right, I'm gonna end it now.